Okay guys, last little part in the myth busting series. So one of the ones I hear all the time is insert exercise here is bad for insert body part here. So squats are bad for your knees, deadlifts are bad for your back, whatever it is bad for whatever it is. In reality, what's happened is over time, some exercises which can be technically demanding have gained bad reputations, and what's the cause of that is usually it's been done by people who don't know how to perform it properly, who don't know how to coach it properly, who had pre-existing injuries or issues that should have excluded them from doing that exercise, or they didn't progress it and regress it and plan and periodize it properly. So it's actually come down to some individual variation there. So usually it's the squat and the deadlift. That squats are bad for your knees, you shouldn't squat deep, that deadlifts are bad for your back, you shouldn't deadlift from the floor. And usually when you watch these people squat and watch them deadlift, it's pretty ugly, and you can see why they've come to that conclusion. But I just want to break down this stigma in your mind for a moment. So take your sport, be it volleyball, basketball, tennis, football, golf, swimming, whatever it is. Think about your sport. I want you to take a skill in your sport. Just pick one skill. And I want you to ask these 4 questions. So firstly, is poor technique in that skill an injury risk? Well, yeah, we know it is. Okay, is improper progression an injury risk? So if you accelerate people too quickly through a progression or through a series of progression, is that going to cause potential injury risk? Yeah, chances are it is. 3, is training volume a risk? So if we go from not doing a lot, say we're doing 10 serves a day to doing 500 serves a day, is that an injury risk? Well, yeah, obviously training volume. We know training volume is an injury risk. We know we can't spike training volume. That's silly. Then the 4th is improper coaching a risk? If you have someone who doesn't really know what they're doing as a coach and is teaching poor technique, or is accelerating people too quickly, or is teaching improper progressions. So is someone who's not properly qualified and not properly experienced coaching that sports skill a risk factor? Yeah, it is. Well, guess what? Physical training is no different. Poor technique is a risk, improper progression is a risk, poor training volume or improper training volume is a risk, and poor coaching is a risk. It's exactly the same as sport. So is it any wonder that people who have crap technique, who have poor progression, who don't get a handle on training volume properly, and who haven't been coached properly, have these perspectives? It makes absolute sense. So a real important factor, and this is what you'll see in all the NSCA, UKSCA, BASES, ASCA papers on youth athletic development, it comes down to 3 factors to make it beneficial and safe. You need to have an appropriate training plan, an appropriately trained coach, that's someone who's qualified, an appropriately supervised plan for it to be safe and beneficial. So stop demonizing exercises, stop saying this is bad for this or that's bad for that. Think a little bit deeper. Is there something that's excluding you from it, from a technical element or a modification that needs to be made? Is there something that means, okay, you might only do deadlift from blocks, but we're going to go away and work on your ankle flexibility, or work on your thoracic extension, or we're going to go and work on your knee valgus in your squat. We're going to put some strategies in place to not just address the symptom, which is a poor squat or a poor deadlift, but the cause. Let's get down to the cause. And let's understand that means that it's not for everyone. There might be some modifications, there might be some changes. So, to quote Dan John, squats aren't bad for your knees. The way you squat is bad for your knees.